Hello,
Hello.
Lexy. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my video started. Hi,
Hi, how are you?
how are you going?
Good. I am good.
Do I need a microphone for this?
No, you don't need one. I just
Oh,
have
I
one.
was like, I don't have one
Yeah,
unless I
no, you are so fine. Don't worry about it. Do you have any questions or anything before we get started?
excited. So, feel free to shoot them as we go. This is recorded, right? So, all good.
Yes, yes. It's recorded, but no like pressure or stress or anything. We're just having a conversation, and I do go through and edit it. So if
Yeah,
you
that's what I
like
thought too. So I'm like, oh, that's fine.
yeah. So if I'm someone who like talks so fast and like stumbles over my words every 5 seconds. So if that ever happens and just like take a second, gather your thoughts and then like restart so that I can just have like an easy transition to
Mm.
edit it off of. But other than that, yeah, no pressure, no stress whatsoever. And we're just having a convo. So
Easy as well. Thank you for inviting me here.
my gosh, of course. I'm so happy to have you. So I just have a little intro that I'll get into. It's the same as the Instagram teaser, but we'll record the Instagram teaser after. Just so you don't get confused. You can say whatever you want to say after I say this little intro, and then we'll get into the questions, and then we'll get the Instagram teaser done after.
Oh, good. I'll leave that on the side of my page. So you can
Okay,
have
perfect.
it on
Ready?
the side as a prompt. All good.
Okay. You'll never believe who I have on this week's episode of eLEXYfy, the Place for Fashion podcast. She's a content creator focused on slow, sustainable fashion. Hello, Catherine. How are you?
Hi, Lexi. Nice to meet you. I'm Project Catherine for those who are listening. And I'm so excited to be on your podcast. It's an honor and a privilege to, sit here and have a chat with you about all things sustainable.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, I'm so excited to have you on today. So, for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, well, I am a content creator in the slow fashion space, and I'm based out in Sydney, Australia. So I'm on the opposite time zone of Lexi. Um, I started this Instagram during the pandemic, like a lot of people, but I was mostly focusing on YouTube. But then I realized Instagram was a bit more I don't know, a bit more rewarding than YouTube and less work. It's my lifestyle because I also work full time. So I kind of stuck out with Instagram, and yeah, it's kind of grown since the pandemic.
Amazing. That's so amazing. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. It's just, I'm like, oh my God, I have to get a YouTube video out tomorrow. You just reminded me. I'm like, I'm stressed. Yeah, Instagram.
It's
And
so
even
much time.
Instagram, though, Instagram, it's just so confusing now because it just keeps changing its algorithm. And I'm like, I have no idea what's happening, but I love social media because it's just such a great way of like meeting other people that have like-minded ideals. So
That's what I like about it too. I've
yeah.
discovered that as more and more I like go into like grow on Instagram, like, oh, I actually like talking to like-minded people, but also brands as well.
Yeah, it's been a great way of like reaching out to other people and brands. And I feel like um, it's really the whole like sustainable fashion, side of things is really growing on social media. So it's been great to kind of educate others and then also meet people. But we'll get into that later. So how did you first get into more of like the fashion side of things?
Well, I think as a small child, in my early teens, I did go to school with Margaret Zhang, who's now the editor of Vogue China, and she's quite a well-known blogger internationally as well as being an Australia blogger. So she kind of inspired me to start blogging. I think at 12 years old, I had Blogspot or blog post.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you remember, but yeah, so I started blogging there with like a few of my friends and I, and then it was just been like on and off. And so then during the pandemic I wanted to start YouTube. And then that's how I got into Instagram and TikTok. My TikTok has also been another platform for me to grow and educate people.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been an ever evolving passion of mine, which has, started, stopped, stopped. And yeah, finally found a rhythm and a groove. And yeah, it's kind of I've just continued just creating things on there.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like that's so funny because I, whenever I mention to people I like started blogging and stuff at like 13, they're always like, that's really young. And so I don't think I've ever met someone that did it also as young as me. So it's great to meet a fellow like young bloomer when it comes to like blogging and getting into fashion. I feel like that is a common theme that like people that are into fashion are just always into fashion as like a young kid, and that it just like you really see oh my god, I always look back at like videos of myself when I was a kid, and it'll be
Yeah.
like me doing like a fashion show, or like I used to do
Oh
the
my
Lexy
God.
show with my dad, and I'm like, and you guys shouldn't have been shocked when I went into fashion and podcasting and stuff like
Yes.
that, because you can literally see it
Yeah.
so much in like my childhood home videos. Like I'm like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
um
It's
I just
crazy because
love
like as well, like with my friends and I, we used to do like photo shoots,
it.
just out on the streets, and dress up in colorful clothes and stuff like that, and just kind of express our creativity through fashion and photography. So yeah,
That's
I
amazing.
love
I
that for
love
us.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it for us. So now more on the sustainability side, how did you first get into that?
Yeah, I think it was a very natural progression.
Mhm.
My background's also in like the construction, architecture side. So during uni, I was exposed to sustainable practices in the construction industry. So I guess that kind of also translated to my passion and interest with slow fashion.
Mhm.
So kind of come hand in hand. And then I also realized that I don't consume a lot of clothing compared to the general public, I reckon. I know, I'm just like, I always want to save money, so I hardly buy any
Mhm.
clothes. And my mum has an amazing taste in fashion, and so I've just borrowed a lot of clothes from her, so I haven't felt the need to buy. And I realized, hey, there's actually like a word for this. It's like slow fashion.
Mhm.
And so I kind of coined that term and made it my brand at Project Catherine.
Mhm. Amazing. Yeah, that's so cool. And so what exactly is, slow fashion? Obviously, I know about it, but for our listeners, can you tell us or tell them what slow fashion is?
So a lot of people associate like slow fashion with, buying sustainable clothes, but it's not just that. It's mostly about reducing your consumption
Mhm.
of clothing, of garments, pieces. So basically buying less, but also buying um, quality made garments so that they last longer. Basically, you kind of just want your clothing to last for the rest of your life, and also consuming styles that are trendless or suits your lifestyle. So you might not
Mhm.
like, basic, like neutral pieces, but whatever, reflects your lifestyle and your personal style. So
Mhm.
something that can last for a really long time. And I hope all the pieces I've, carefully collected now will be passed on to my children, just like how my mom's passed on her clothes to me. So yeah, that's basically slow fashion in a nutshell.
I love it. Yeah. And I feel like that, it has a lot to do with like kind of minimalism, or not necessarily, but like pieces that have, I mean, I feel like it's commonly like slow fashion's commonly
Yeah.
associated with minimalism, whether it's wearing, like you said, like wearing the neutrals and just sticking to like maybe a few colors. And then, but it's basically just like creating one big like capsule wardrobe, and then just like making new outfits out of that. And for anyone that doesn't know what a capsule wardrobe is, it's basically like if you collect a few pieces and then just style them in a bunch of different ways, rather than, like constantly buying new things, just kind of using like what you already have and building up a wardrobe that you can just constantly keep re-wearing. A lot of people do like when they're going on big trips or something, they'll do like capsule wardrobe with me to Italy. And so you're bringing like a black
Yeah.
button down, a neutral button, a nude button down, a white button down, and then a jean skirt and a black skirt and one pair of boots. And then you're just constantly rewearing those things and styling them in like different ways. I don't know if I'm did that in a great way.
But also, no, that was a great explanation. But also following on from what you're saying, like, I don't believe it's just like neutral pieces. It's basically pieces that you are going to wear on a regular basis. So if you prefer to wear, floral prints or, colorful, vibrant colors, then that's basically your capsule wardrobe. And you should curating your wardrobe to have these pieces because you know that you're going to constantly wear them. So it's like suited for more your personal style. So I feel like there's a misconception with what capsule wardrobes are. It's really just a wardrobe that is made to your life, and it's not just about neutral pieces, which hopefully we can educate people on that. Like, because people get so, bit thrown off by like, oh, I don't have a capsule wardrobe. I'm like, yeah, you do. It's like whatever you wear the most in your wardrobe is your capsule wardrobe.
My friend actually, he just like came over and went through my closet because we were doing a photo shoot together, and he was styling it, and he was like, you've gotten such like a great collection of different pieces here. And I was like, thank you. Like, I honestly feel like I feel like now, like, I don't like I've collected so many like fun out there pieces that I will legitimately keep for the rest of my life, that it's like that's my capsule wardrobe. And I'm kind of like the opposite of like neutral and stuff. Like I love like wearing like crazy colors and
I can
pattern mixing and all that jazz. And I feel like that's like, yes, while I still go thrifting and borrow clothes and stuff like that, I do have like a good little collection of clothing that I will keep for like the rest of me looking at my closet right now that I will keep for like the rest of my life. And that's my little that is my little capsule wardrobe. So I completely agree. It doesn't just have to be neutrals. I feel like, yes, like you were saying, like that's kind of a misconception, but that also is something that if you are more of like an into neutrals person, then
definitely.
that's also it's what like you were saying, it's whatever your version of your capsule wardrobe is.
Exactly, because I've seen a lot of YouTube videos about capsule wardrobes, and it's literally always like neutral or very basic pieces, just like a t-shirt or singlet. I'm like, but if you like ruffles, then that you can incorporate that into your capsule wardrobe. It's just I guess like your personality and whatever's suited to your lifestyle. So yeah.
Definitely. So what tips could you give to someone who's looking to start being sustainable, or having a hard time to transition over, just tips in general for trying to become sustainable?
I think the first thing that really helped me was just like unsubscribing from email notifications, marketing emails from brands that constantly bombard you with sales and new trend styles, because that lures you every time it comes to your mailbox. Like back then, like every time an email came through, I was like, oh my god, they're having a sale, I must buy something. So I feel like getting rid of that temptation will help you so much to just kind of help you get onto your way to your journey to sustainable fashion. And from there, I think just kind of, removing yourself from things that kind of make you want to shop for new clothing. So maybe like other influencers, stop watching TV shows maybe that kind of makes you want to buy into that type of style. And then from there, try to figure out your own personal style, kind of looking at your wardrobe, figuring out, like what's the pieces that you wear most often, and then educating yourself about the impacts of fashion on the environment, because that will also open your mind to, damn, it's pretty negative what it's doing on our environment. And I think that will kind of throw you off fast fashion as well.
That's so interesting, because I feel like that's a commonly asked question that I like you ask guests on my podcast, like, oh, like what tip could you give? And the unsubscribing from emails is something that I do literally all the time, And I
Yeah.
probably should have like spend a day like unsubscribing to all of them because I'm just like slowly doing it one at a time. But that's like
That's what I did too. Yeah.
I mean, that's like something that's so like smart to think. Like I've never even thought like about like I just unsubscribe to them now because it's like I don't support you and I don't want you to email me. I do have to
Yeah.
say I remember I like unsubscribed to like Zara like years ago and then I had to resubscribe because I had an assignment for my like school where they were like, oh, like can you guys subscribe to your guys's like brands that you're working on? Because I think we were okay, so we were
Oh,
given
that's
like the
sick.
assignment was like you're given a brand that's like been canceled or something or like isn't
Mm.
doesn't follow the best practices and then you're changing it. So I think I did like Zara or whatever because I was like, no, they're fast fashion and I want
Yeah.
to be sustainable. And so I remember like recently I like resubscribed and I was like, that's so funny because I like literally remember like taking the time to unsubscribe to these places because I don't support them anymore. And it's just like I feel like such a tiny like minimal thing that like you don't think
Yeah.
about, but it's
I
so
realized.
effective. So like I love that you said that because I don't think anyone's ever had that response before, but it's such a smart thing to do.
My gosh, I was so tempted by those sales. So like and yeah, yeah, because like every time you shop for something online, like sometimes they make you like put in your email address and they won't let you like leave that page until you
Yeah.
signed up. So
Yes.
by mitigating that, it actually really releases you from having the need to buy or consume new clothing. So I think that's definitely like the first step that everyone can start with. It's so easy. Like if an email comes in and you don't want to see it, just unsubscribe. You don't have to
Mhm.
sit down in a day and do it all. You can just do it as the email comes through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty achievable, I reckon.
Yeah, that's been I love that. I'm like I do that all the time and I never even thought
Yeah,
about how like effective it was until you said it and I'm like that's such a small thing to do but it has such a big
it's so
impact because
true.
you're right
Yeah,
like I mean me now obviously I'm like if I see a fashion site emailing me I'm like no I don't care but I don't even look at it but back in the day when I like didn't know what sustainable fashion was, those things, those like, oh my God, 50% off the whole store, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm buying the whole store. So you're
I
so
don't have
right.
much money, but I can buy it because all 50% off.
50% off. Yes. Oh my God. I love, love, love that. So let's get into Project Rewear. So what is the hashtag Project Rewear movement?
So I guess it's like a play off of like Project Catherine. I see all like my collaborations, all the posts I do, or the reels that I upload are all like mini projects. And so with the Project Reware, it's a small movement or a little project that we can all take to get to be part of together and just post our outfits that we constantly repeat, to kind of just share with the general public like, hey, it's okay to outfit repeat. You don't need to feel ashamed about wearing the same thing over and over again. It's actually totally okay. Like we need to normalize outfit repeating. And so I just started this hashtag because I think a majority of my audience is, interested in sustainable fashion or are sustainable fashion creators or people who practice sustainable fashion in their lifestyle. So yeah, I just wanted it to be, something that this Project Catherine community can do together and show off the fits. And then I just scroll into the hashtags and kind of engage with my audience and see what they're up to. Yeah, it's pretty empowering to see that a lot of people, are excited to be part of this movement. I thought it would have not much engagement with it, but yeah, it's nice to see that everyone's kind of jumped on board with it.
That's amazing. I love outfit repeating and I think that it's also just such an easy way of like being sustainable. It's just not even if it's outfit repeating, but also if you're just constantly wearing a garment. I think I wear this sweatshirt that I'm wearing now like multiple times a week.
Exactly.
And I'm like, it's comfy and I love it and it makes me feel confident. So why not just rewear it? And I completely agree. I feel like kind of like the mindset, especially with fast fashion, but just like in general, is like, oh, like you have a new event, like you have to wear something new for it. And I'm like, that used to kind of be my mindset. And now I'm like, no, like I have this one beautiful dress and I'll wear it to like almost every wedding or bar mitzvah or whatever
Yeah.
that I go to. And then that's just like big events. I mean, that's also throughout the week. One of my favorite things to do is
Yeah.
like school and work is like a practice runway show. So I'll like wear an outfit, and then if I don't get a picture in it, or even if I do get a picture in it, because again, no shame in outfit re-wearing, but I'll like wear whatever to work and like kind of get like oh, is this cute enough to like get pictures in it? Or like maybe I'm like not getting pictures today. So over the weekend, if I'm like going like on a photo shoot with my friends, I'll just bring the outfit that I already wore earlier that week because I like didn't get a picture in it and I want to re-wear it.
That's what I do as well.
Yeah, I'm like, I just love doing that. I like practice wearing like, or I like pick out clothes for work, and then I'm like, oh, but let me get a picture in it later in the week. But that's also like there, you can also just get a picture in it and then a week later get another picture in it. Like there's no shame in outfit repeating.
To like archive like the outfits that you have in your wardrobe, so you can always refer back to your phone and go, oh, that was a really like enjoyable outfit that you know, I liked wearing, so why don't I wear it again because it made me feel this certain way. And then just now I look back at my Instagram like, oh, I haven't worn this outfit in a while, and you know, I can wear it for this occasion. So yeah, you don't have to, you know, every time, because a lot of people feel like they don't have anything to wear in your wardrobe, but if you've taken a photo and you just look back and go, hey, actually that outfit was kind of cool, then you can just rewear it.
Yeah, that is amazing. So what made you like, when did you start this kind of like hashtag movement, and like why, and then how can people kind of like join the movement?
When did I start this? I think I started it before Christmas because it was like Christmas break and didn't really have much to do. So I really wanted, oh, actually, no. Backtracking now, I remember. My friend Bella, who I met through Instagram, and now she's like my content creator bestie. She was like, you should totally start an Instagram where, you know, we can all share our outfit repeats. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So yeah, I just started that during Christmas while it was Christmas break, and so that I could make announcements to my audience. And then yeah, from there, I think on a weekly basis, just like have a look to see what people are posting on there. And sometimes I do shout outs just to let my other audience know that, you know, this is happening. And if you want to join, all you have to do is put the hashtag project rewear in your caption or down in the comment section. And then, yeah, I'll come scroll through. And yeah, if you haven't been featured on my stories yet, then I'll do a little shout out.
That's amazing. So everyone, if you ever repeat an outfit, which you should all the time because it's amazing to do and there's no shame in it, then make sure you tag or you hashtag rewear. Well, project rewear. There we go. Hashtag project rewear. There we go. That's amazing. Yeah, that's so cool. And I love that, you know, your Instagram is Project Catherine. So you're just kind of like doing all these sustainable projects and kind of keeping the continuity between all of them. So that's just amazing. So what are some kind of like sustainable brands that you like to shop at, or are you more of like a thrifter, or what brands do you like?
I'm a mixture of everything you can do to be sustainable. So, you know, rent clothing, I shop from sustainable brands, rewear, just shop my mom's closet or thrift. But my favorite sustainable brands would be Citizen Wolf. They're a Sydney-based t-shirt company. So what they do is that they custom fit the t-shirt or custom make it to your body measurement. So before you buy a t-shirt, they'll ask you for your body measurements, and then you give it to them, and then they actually cut the t-shirt to size so it fits you perfectly. And you can also like go into their factory somewhere in Sydney. Not sure if you'll be familiar because you're from the States, but but yeah, you actually able to go in, and they can also do like an in-shop consultation, and they also produce the garments in that factory, so it's pretty transparent. You're able to see where your garments are made, and it kind of assures you that, you know, the people that work for them, who make the clothing, are paid like a living wage and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely a brand that I benchmark to when shopping for sustainable fashion brands, but they mostly just produce like t-shirts. Another brand that I also like is Jerf Avenue. So I think a lot of people know Matilda Jerf, the influencer or Instagrammer, content creator. She's based out in the UK, but she gets all her garments made in Portugal. Portugal is known for like ethical working wages and really safe and good working conditions compared to the rest of Europe. So that's why she's picked the home base as Portugal. So yeah, those are just like my two favorite at the moment.
That's amazing. No, I love Matilda, and I didn't know that she even had a fashion brand until recently. And then when I checked it out and I saw that it was sustainable, I was like, yes, queen! Like, because I feel like so many like big influencers, like so many people love her, and I feel like just like a lot of people just like know her, and I love that when like we see like big influencers like kind of promoting sustainable, but not only that, but she's like taking the step further and making her own brand sustainable. So I really love that.
Yeah.
Because it just affects so many people, and it's just amazing to see like bigger influencers, especially because I feel like the content creator like industry is very supportive of fast fashion. So I love to see
it is.
Yeah, I love to see bigger influencers, you know, supporting the opposite side, supporting sustainability. So do you live in Australia? That's so amazing. I want to visit. That's so cool. So do you think that, like, I don't know, is fashion very different in Australia, and has living there maybe like influenced the whole sustainability kick, or like how is that, how do you think that that's, I don't know if you've ever been to like the States. I love when people call it that. I just say America.
I don't know. I always say, is it the US, America, or the States? I don't know which phrase that.
I say like US or America, but I mean, whenever I talk to someone that's not from here, they always say the States, and I just feel like I feel like it makes it sound so much fancier than it is for some reason. So I'm like, oh, the States.
I do have a friend from like LA, the States. She calls it the States. And whilst I was living in college in like Sydney, I also had a few friends from the States as well. So they always refer to the States. But like when I looked at when I compare like our styles, it's so different. Like I can tell how an American dresses. I don't know how. It's so different.
That's so
I think
funny.
it's more, I think Australian fashion is more, I would say it's like kind of, it's like office wear, kind of like with the blazers, the trousers. I know like NYC fashion is kind of like based off that, but when I compare like LA is more like casual, relaxed, so, you know, vibrant colors, prints and stuff like that. In Australia, it's like more minimal. And I think in Sydney, because we're like based around the coast, it's just linen, a lot of linen, natural fibers, oversized baggy shirts and pants because it gets so freaking hot here. Hats, like oversized shirts, but then you wear like your bikini top underneath and shorts like that. So yeah, it is quite different. I think it's probably very reflective of our environment.
Yeah.
Around here, it's very like blue, green, earthy tones as well. But there are people who wear like vibrant colors and stuff, I guess, to suit summer. But it's hard to say. I feel like I'm generalizing, like Australians wear this and States wear that, but there's definitely a difference, I guess, in styles.
Like even like in the States, like I feel like even like you can tell such a big difference between, like you were saying, like LA and New York and Miami and Miami and LA, and those are just the major cities, but like there's such an obvious difference to it. And I feel like what's funny is like I feel like, well, I don't really have a set style, so I feel like maybe some days I'm more LA, but like I live in LA and I feel like my style
Yeah,
is much more New York, or even Miami sometimes. But I mean, even like compared to like, because I'm going to Paris over this summer and I've been looking for like inspo, and I feel like over in Paris, like it's also kind of like you were saying about like Australia is like it's very like more on the whole like blazer, oversized,
I feel like that's more very sophisticated, luxurious.
sophisticated, very
Um,
sophisticated.
yeah, here in Sydney, Australia, or in Australia in general, it's like relaxed,
Hmm.
oversized looks, and then LA would be States. States is a whole mishmash because you got New
it's
York and
it's all over the
LA.
place
You
over
just can't
here.
put it in like a jar, you know?
Yeah, but it's so funny because I'm like, because I want to obviously like wear my own style in Paris because of like I want to get pictures in my own style. I don't want to try to like be a different style,
When
but
you
I
go,
have been looking for inspo in Paris. Like you were saying, it's very sophisticated, but it's also a lot of those neutrals, which is just like funny because I feel like my fashion is very colorful, and I do think that's because I live in like America, and just like I don't know, I feel
yeah,
like America, or I feel like style over here is super colorful. Not saying that it's not other places, but when I look at
yeah,
Pinterest,
no,
like
it
if I'm
is just
looking,
very
yeah, like I feel like it is more neutral. And then you were saying that Australia is also very neutral, so maybe that's just like a American thing. I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I have no idea.
When are you
But
going to Paris?
what'd you say?
When are you going to Paris?
I'm going in like end of June, early July. I'm going with my school. So
Summertime. Yeah.
very exciting. Yeah. But I want to go to Australia so badly. It's funny. Me and my boyfriend, we've been together for a really long time now. And we always just like make believe our future. I don't know. And we're like, oh, like where would we live? And I'm like, I don't want to live in America. Like I want to live in like Italy, like southern Italy, so badly. And he's like, oh yeah, like I would do that. And he's like, you know where I really want to live though? And I'm like, where? And he's like, Australia. And I'm like, we can live there. I'd be down. It just
Actually,
seems so
so
cool.
nice to live here because I lived in Europe for a year in the Netherlands,
Oh
and
my
I don't
God.
know, I just felt like I just could never get used to it. It's so different over there, and with the States as well, just from news and stuff. And when I traveled there a while ago, just I don't know,
Yeah.
Sydney's like a mixture of everything.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like in
Me
between the
like,
states, in between Paris, you get best of both worlds.
yeah, no, me like wanting to live in Italy and not knowing like a literal word in Italian, but that's
Italy's
fine.
quite nice as
I'll learn it
well.
at
Yeah,
some point. We'll get there. But no, he thinks that he always talks about Australian accents and how he thinks they're so cool. And I'm like, you do realize if we went to Australia, you wouldn't have an Australian accent, right? Like you're
it would
still
take you
from
a while.
America.
Maybe your kids, but
Yeah, so I'm like, if I'm ever in Australia, I'll let you know because it seems really cool.
Sydney, because I know that people usually go down to Melbourne
Mhm.
to travel, but no, Sydney's the
Yeah,
coolest city.
I'm gonna have to check it out. My like dream, I'm like, if I'm a sustainable, fashion advocate, I feel like I have to travel the world that I'm like attempting to save. Just because I want to see like how beautiful it is. Because I know it's beautiful from living in America and seeing like the beautiful parts here, but I know that there's even more beautiful places and I just want to see it. So I'm like, I want to travel everywhere at some point. And it just Sydney seems so cool. All of Australia seems so cool. All of everywhere seems so cool. So
It is a beautiful country, and I guess that's why like sustainable fashion means so much to me, is because
mhm.
like I am exposed to the natural environment because I basically live in it. Or like, yeah, the beach is probably like a 10-minute run to get to, and sometimes when you go swimming you see like, bits of plastic or
Mm,
face masks just like floating in the ocean. You're like, oh god, that's terrible.
mhm.
You just hear about the effects of global warming in the water. Like the other day we had a great white shark attack. It literally ate someone, and yeah, it's just
Oh my
and you
God.
kind of makes you think like, why are they swimming closest to the shore? Are they,
Mhm.
running out of food to eat and stuff like that? And yeah, it kind of just goes, hey. And then fashion is basically the largest polluter of pollution, of like greenhouse emissions, as well as waste. So yeah, but sustainable fashion, I mean fashion in general, does have a huge impact on the environment. And, you know, everyone consumes fashion, everyone's got to wear clothes. So I feel like everyone needs to just be a bit more conscious about their consumption of fashion.
No, I 100% agree. And I think that what I love so much about fashion is that even if you think that you're exempt from the fashion industry, and even if you don't care, you know, what clothes you wear, if you wear sweats every day, you're still wearing something every single day, and you're making the decision to put that specific thing on your body. If you've ever seen The Devil Wears Prada, there's that really amazing scene where Meryl Streep goes, well, you think you're exempt, and then she goes on this whole rant about where the color blue from Andy's like sweater came from, and how she thinks that she just got it out of a Goodwill bin, but actually like, it was made by millions of designers for millions of dollars. And that's my favorite quote of any movie, and I mention it all the time. But I think that that's what's so interesting about fashion, is that it legitimately affects every single one of us. We wear it every single day. And well, yeah, I mean, most people wear it every single day. I don't know if people go out there naked, but I feel like most people,
yes,
the majority of people wear it every single day. So, you know,
yeah, and I feel like a majority of people are affected by fashion. There's, you know, garment workers in third world countries that make our clothes. There are people in Africa that, like our secondhand clothes that don't get donated to charities, end up being shipped to African countries. And then, you know, I would say the powerful nations such as, you know, the US, you know, I think the majority of fast fashion brands are created by the States. So yeah, I think, you know, everyone has some sort of connection to the fashion industry.
Yeah, definitely. And what's also so interesting is that I feel like it's a misconception that like you know, there's only sweatshops in, you know, other developing countries, which isn't true at all. There's sweatshops in Los Angeles, there's sweatshops in New York.
Yeah.
And people working in them are under terrible conditions and getting paid literally.
It's mostly like immigrants that come through. And yeah, actually interesting that you brought this, because like there was this brand, a US brand, that wanted to collaborate with me, and then their website was very vague about, you know, where their garments were made and where they sourced their cotton, etc. But anyways, I asked the founder, I was like, oh, just wondering, could you share with me, you know, who your manufacturer is? And she sent me a link, and basically that manufacturer as well was like super, like, I don't know, closed off about who they were and stuff. Like I couldn't find any information about them. I even tried emailing them. But yeah, I don't know. And then I just wanted to just make sure that, you know, their factory was, you know, paying the workers a fair living wage. Like I could have just taken the founder's words, you know, as the truth, but I just wanted to do a bit more digging, a bit more investigation. But unfortunately, I didn't pursue with collaboration because there was just not enough transparency to like back up anything. But whilst I was researching about garment factories in LA, I kind of found out that there is still exploitation that's happening. And I think there was a fast fashion brand, I can't remember who it was, but yeah, they were also using garment factories in LA, and they were still underpaying people as well. And I was like, wow, this is still happening.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. And so while you think that maybe it doesn't necessarily affect you, I feel like a lot of people I talk to are like, oh yeah, but it's happening somewhere else. Like, why do I care?
It's literally happening in your backyard.
I'm like, it's literally, I'm in
like downtown LA.
Yeah, like I live in the fashion district in LA, and I'm like, it's legitimately happening a block away from my place. Like there are sweatshops in downtown LA, and I'm like, so actually it 100% affects you. And even if it was in a completely different country, why does that still not affect you? Like if you were in those people's shoes, like, wouldn't you want someone else fighting for you? So I think that it's just so important that we all educate each other. And I'm so glad that, you know, you really, you know, took the time to like research the brand that was reaching out to you. I feel like, you know, greenwashing is also another huge problem. And I feel like if a brand's not being transparent, there's a reason why they're not being transparent. And
Or if
so
they weren't able to provide me with the information, then you know that they're not even interested. They're just using
mhm,
like sustainability just to market their clothing to be a bit more just a bit more attractive to consumers. And yeah, the founder wasn't able to provide me with more information. I was just like, you definitely haven't done your research as well.
right,
So how can I, effectively promote your brand if you're not able to give me these answers
right.
straight up? Yeah.
No, definitely. I remember an underwear brand from like however long ago reached out to me and they were like, yeah, like we sell our things in like recyclable packaging. And I was
I
like,
really hate when brands are like, okay, so yeah, my products are made of sustainable, fibers, whatever. But the packaging I use is made out of recyclable, compostable plastic.
wow.
And we make sure that we use like sustainable stickers and we package it up in like tissue paper. And that's not enough. That's just your
It
packaging.
isn't. It really isn't.
Your supply chain, or what the things that you are selling, what are they made out of? It's not just your packaging. You're not selling me the packaging. No, you're selling me the clothes. I don't care what
Yeah.
you pack. Well, I do care, but I actually care more about the rest of your brand.
Everything else. And it's, oh my God, one of my, like, it's not funny, but every time I see it, I'm like, do they really think, like, I like laugh a little because I'm like, do people really like see that as okay? It's this razor company. I can't even remember, but whenever it's on TV, they always go, oh, packaging is recyclable. And I go, the literal razor that you're selling is like made out of plastic. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but the packaging.
Just trying to take the attention away from how the razor isn't sustainable to your packaging.
Your
And I'm like,
packaging.
no, shh, don't do that, please. And
Yeah,
as soon as a brand does that, I'm just like, no, sorry, I can't collaborate. You don't get the message.
yeah, but it like blows my mind. One of my favorite TikTokers, I had her on my podcast a few weeks ago, and her at is like Lauren. And she got sent this cake by TikTok. I don't remember exactly why, but the whole cake came in like this huge like there was so much plastic wrap around it. And in the next TikTok, she said, I don't know why they sent this like a sustainable content creator this much like plastic. And then in the next TikTok, she like told us that she wrote this like heavy detailed email to TikTok about how she appreciated the cake, but how the packaging was just like not it and how they shouldn't do that. And I was like, queen.
I know, like, do you feel like it's okay to call out brands?
I do. I really do. I mean, I am a part of Remake, and I feel like that's like one of their like biggest things is always being like, email this brand, like tag them on social, comment on their posts, like, and it's been really effective. I mean, we're talking about how one of the biggest like wage theft cases I think it was in India happened recently, and how we were just like doing nothing but bombarding people's emails like H&M and stuff like that. And H&M recently sent them an email saying like they're
going to do it.
They're going to pay their garment workers. And so that's amazing. But I think that it's really truly effective in that if brands, I think that it sucks that we have to do it because brands should just want to do the right thing, but I guess that's unrealistic. So seeing, that like consumers really do care about this and that we're gonna boycott, these brands if they don't, and they're gonna lose money if they don't change their ways. Like if that's the action that needs to be taken to change their ways, then then it's effective, and that's all that matters, is that in the end they're going to change their ways. So
yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, no, that's good, because I was always like, oh my gosh, this brand the other day, Glassons, reached out to me about their sustainable puffer jackets. I was like, oh, cringe. And you're reaching out to sustainable content creators so that you can, greenwash.
Yeah,
Bad taste in my mouth.
one of my least favorite things is when like a fast fashion brand emails me and I'm like, you obviously didn't take the time and day, and not even like to promote a sustainable thing. Like they just reach out to me and they're like, hey, do you want to work together? And I'm like, did you even, I don't know, glance at my profile? Because if you did,
Yeah,
first thing you see in the bio is
yeah.
sustainable and thrifted content. Like that is the first thing there. So I'm like, it really just like you said, like leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because I'm like, you obviously just don't care about the people that you're working with, which
No, and
is obvious already because you're like a fast fashion brand that probably doesn't pay your workers.
and I still see like people collaborating with them, and I'm like, they don't care about you. They really don't. They just want to make a profit off of you. And there's so many like content creators that have reached out and like, oh, how do I make this brand, want to, pay me for my services? And I'm like, they're never going to.
Yeah, I feel like that with like content creation, since it is such like a newer thing, it's very common to like, not get paid what you should be to be working with brands. But I know that it is a new thing, but it's basically just marketing in a different, I mean, it is just marketing and advertising in a new way. So it's a thing that's been around forever. We're just using it in a different manner now. And it's like, this is a job, and like, yes, and we're bringing like profits to these brands, like it could be like millions and millions of dollars worth if we have enough followers, if we influence enough people, and to like buy certain things. Like if a shirt's like $100 and we influence someone to buy it, or we influence 5 people to buy it, that brand just got an extra $500 because of us. And then I feel like content creators like aren't understanding their worth, because reviews and influencing is like such a big way of selling things now.
It is.
So it's just interesting to see.
It is. I could, that could be another podcast in itself. Like I have so much to say.
I know. I'm like, I wish that I wish I could just cover everything in podcasts. I wish that I don't know. I just feel like I could talk for days about sustainability and content creation and all that jazz. I'm like, hold me back. Stop me.
Close my mouth.
Well, speaking about, not being able to talk enough, is there anything else that you would like to say to our listeners before we do wrap up the podcast?
I would just say, feel comfortable in the clothes that you wear. Don't feel pressured by society or other influences or brands. Wait, let's edit that out. Let's start again. What was I saying? Okay, let me start again. All I just want to say is that definitely feel comfortable in the clothes that you're wearing. Don't feel pressured by media influencers or brands. Don't feel pressured to shop from them constantly or buy into the latest trends, because we're only just human, and we need to somehow reduce our impacts on the environment. So yeah, definitely outfit repeat, and don't feel ashamed about it.
Yeah, and if you outfit repeat, put #project rewear.
Yes, and that as well.
So where can people find you on social media?
You can find me at project.catherine on Instagram and TikTok as well. Yeah, and if you really enjoyed what we talked about today, definitely feel free to follow me and pop into my DMs. I'd love to have a chat about with you. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free to.
Amazing. Well, everyone, make sure you follow Catherine on all of her socials, and while you're at it, you can follow me. My TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are all at Lexy Silverstein. That's Lexy, silver like the color, Stein. And remember to make the ordinary extraordinary.